Hello, and welcome to the Long Island Weather Update and Outlook. A very, very nice weekend, especially Saturday, where I did actually go to the Pine Barrens. Not Long Island, no. I was in New Jersey. I had a face going back there eventually. It was beautiful, for sure. Mostly sunny sky, especially in Jersey. Long Island had a few more clouds. There were just a few patchy clouds in Jersey yesterday, and very, very nice clear skies. For the most part, nice blue skies. It was really, really beautiful, actually. So glad I did actually get to go there. It wasn't too hot either. So we'll look at yesterday's weather first before I get started with today's weather. And you see the highs yesterday were generally in the low 80s, pretty much upper 70s, low 80s, pretty much fairly uniform from Jersey to Long Island. The lows were generally in the mid 50s, and in the cooler spots in the morning. That's when these are the morning temperatures here. Well, so they got down to the low 50s Saturday morning there in Jersey. A little cooler there than here, and then of course closer to the city, and probably in my area temperatures were in the mid 60s. But a very, very nice day yesterday. We'll go to the Motus satellite. Actually, we'll show you what it was like yesterday. And this is today. We'll go back to yesterday, show you what it looked like yesterday. So we did have a upper level low that spilled a few more clouds over to Long Island. You can see that here. This is a little more toward the afternoon, but you can see Jersey, it's just very scattered clouds. So it was a very, very nice day yesterday. Breezy, very comfortable, very, 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 very pleasant day indeed. We'll look at some observations now. Kind of just show you what the day was like yesterday and today at Islip. Today was not quite as nice because we did have a little bit of rain in the earlier part of the day. I don't think it really amounted to very much. It didn't really amount to. It was mainly just light rain, generally in the morning hours. Didn't really amount to much. But looking back at yesterday, the 8th, again, we had temperatures that were upper 70s, low 80s, probably still a little bit above normal. We'll go over the climate statistics, but you'll see the dew points nice and low in the 50s. West-northwest breezes. Very, very nice day yesterday. And today actually turned out to be nice once we got toward the afternoon. So let's look at our satellite loop here, and we'll show you what it was like today. I'll make this a 60 frame so you get a chance. You can see the sun came out, though we did have some scattered clouds today around in the afternoon. But the sun did come out after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun came out. It turned out to be pretty nice outside. So looking at what it looked like today, the outside, we just had some fair weather cumulus clouds and maybe a little bit of cirrus. But other than that, pretty nice out for the day. Very nice. And I'm missing a picture that I wanted to put in there, of course. That always happens, doesn't it? Yeah, there we go. So that's what it looked like here. I was at Twin Lakes in the evening. So it was nice spending some time outside the past couple of days. Very, very nice out. So let's go over our climate statistics for the day. And Islip, we had a high of 72 and a low of 63. Actually wound up being 3 degrees below normal on the high, but because of the low of 63, yes, it didn't really cool off that much last night, which was kind of surprising. So we're 1 degree above normal, and only 0.03 inches of rain at Islip, not surprisingly. So let's go to the day before. Let's go to Saturday's statistics here. Gotta go back all the way here. Where is it? There we go. So here's Saturday's statistics. So Saturday, the high was 79 at Islip, and the low was 59. So 4 degrees above normal on the high, 2 degrees above normal for the day. So let's now go look at our highs and lows on the map. And you can see right now temperatures mid-60s. All right, my alley's still like 72, but mid-60s generally in much of Long Island. The West Hamptons dropped down to 61. There's a 40. That's a mistake. But other than that, it will be cooling off tonight because I think we're going to have mostly clear skies, light winds, and with dry air in place. You'll see again the mid-60s. It's going to get a lot lower than that because dew points are dew points are in the upper 40s to the low 50s. So pretty dry air that we have. So let's look at our highs across the area today. And you can see today was cooler because we had the cloud cover. Like I said, cleared out by the afternoon. Not so much over Suffolk. You can see the temperatures were a little lower there. Low 70s for the most part. As you got into Nassau, it was warmer. We had a little more sun here. So mid 70s for highs. Mid 70s in the city. And what about Jersey? Oh, they got into the low 80s, so even warmer for them. They probably had even more sunshine. But other than that, it was once the rain was over with, it was a pretty nice day. Let's look at the lows today. West Hampton got down to 54. Other than that, not too much radiational cooling. West Hampton got down at 54, but it wasn't that much. Otherwise, lows around 60, low 60s to mid in Suffolk, mid 60s toward Nassau, upper 60s toward the city, and Jersey. Jersey was cooler. Let's see, they had mid 50s there for lows. So pretty cool. Again, pretty comfortable out there, though. We're not really that much below normal, but it felt cool with that breeze blowing, that's for sure. Let's go back to the current observations. We'll look at the weather map now at our Weather Prediction Center. And you can see here we've got low pressure over, looks like the Carolinas. That's not going to bother us. Got a little bit of troughing from that upper level low still in the interior northeast. And then you can see another little clipper type low pressure over, looks like Michigan. And then you have a stalled frontal boundary, which is the focus of rain and severe weather going back through the south. And again, a heat dome over the southwest and Florida, which is going to start seeing some moisture in the next coming days as we deal with a little bit of a tropical atmospheric river for Florida developing, actually. So if we look at the excessive rain forecast, shift it over to this. As we go into day 2 and 3, you see that Florida starts lighting up here. Yellows, and that definitely indicates they're going to be getting a lot of rain. So if we go to the QPF and we go to day 1 through 7, you see exactly what we're talking about here. So luckily for us, we're staying dry, but take a look at Florida. How about almost a foot of rain in the next week, perhaps, especially in South Florida? So they're going to be stuck in a miserable pattern for South Florida, just dealing with there's going to be tropical moisture just riding up through that area, basically. Storm Prediction Center, we got marginal risk kind of snaking along there from the Rockies down through the south, and a little bit of a slight risk around, looks like the interior south there. Going into tomorrow, day 2, we have a slight risk going on in the, looks like South Dakota, into maybe part of Nebraska and Montana. But other than that, nothing really crazy with the severe weather. It's calmed down a lot from what we've been dealing with, obviously. We've only had one reported tornado today, so fortunately it has calmed down quite a bit. Let's look at our, let's pan this out, and we're going to go and look at the broader satellite view for the country. You see there's our upper level low spinning, still little spokes of moisture and convection, or some pop-up clouds around that. Here's your stalled frontal boundary over the south. And you see all that. Again, we're still seeing all that smoke from wildfires in Mexico and Central America. It's actually inhibiting any development of tropical systems right now, which is interesting. So let's go to the weather and hazards map. We'll pan out. We'll show you what's going on across the country. And yeah, there's a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for parts of the south. Then we've got is this a high wind advisory or a high wind warning? Avalanche advisory. That's what that is. Wow. Okay. I guess they still have snow, and believe it or not, the snow hangs on in the mountains a while. And then we go to the southwest here, where it's been very hot. We've got a excessive heat watch for southern parts of Arizona and California, still dealing with the heat. And we still got this is a heat advisory and excessive heat warning in the purple here for that area. And looks like Northern California, interior Northern California there. But yeah, this is again, this is the way that heat ridge is. If we look at the highs, you'll see that it's pretty hot in a lot of the air. Not as hot as it has been. I noticed Flagstaff's only 77, so at least it cooled off for them. But Yeah, it's been hot for them. Luckily, we're not dealing with that kind of heat, fortunately. So let's go to the models here. Shift over to the models here. Just close this other stuff up that we don't need. And look at the models, and we'll start with the upper air. So we'll first start with the GFS and the jet stream. Which you see here, we got this trough in the east, ridge in the west deal that continues into this week. And then we start seeing a little more ridging in the east develop as we get into next week, and that's going to bring in hotter weather as we get into next week. You see that with the jet stream there. All right, I'm not even going over the UR. I'm going to stick with the GFS because I think it's been pretty much on target here at this point. I don't need to look at another model. That's just going to give me the same information. Let's go to the 500. Maybe I'll look at the European on the upper air. Probably I'll compare with that, not the jet stream. So here's that trough that's going to be that's keeping us cooler. Continues into tomorrow, but it's going to be pleasant for the most part, with high pressure in control, and then we start seeing an upper. Well, it's still a little trough for next weekend, but then we start seeing a little more of an upper ridge develop by next weekend. And that's going to bring in hotter weather, but it doesn't look like it sticks around. It looks like it's there and then it's gone. You can look at the European and see. Look at the European operational. They're probably going to look exactly the same here. They almost do, pretty much. And there's that upper ridge there. So you see that we will have a warm up when we get to that upper ridge and get into it. So let's go to the CONUS view, and we will look at our temperature anomaly chart. And going to this week, you see temperatures go a little bit below normal as we get toward Monday. Well, actually, we were right at normal, but just to our north and west, she has us in the red, believe it or not. It'll probably be, yeah, just to our north and west, it's very below normal. So there's much colder air here, and that's where the instability is probably going to be and remain, where there'll probably be more cloud cover in these areas you see that are dark or purple. Because we're a pretty strong sun now. But it stays fairly close to average. You see, now it doesn't really heat up much in the east. The heat's staying pretty much in the west. We see a heat up by Friday. Then another front comes through on the weekend, brings in some cooler weather. But then as we get toward next week, that's when we'll start to see some heat try to build. Though it's not really showing anything that. It may be a couple of days of heat, and then it kind of brings it down again. So we have yet to really see any really terrible heat in the east. We've been very fortunate to avoid it. So let's go look at the surface map here on the GFS, and you see high pressure builds in that upper level low. You can see there's a low that's over here, and this is the issue that's going to happen with Florida now, is that front is going to get stuck over Florida, and it's just going to be a conveyor belt for tropical moisture. So and you can see Florida is just going to be stuck in it. And then we have another front coming. Meanwhile, for us, we have another nice air mass for the weekend. And then we start seeing that high get into that southeast ridge position, which will bring us the warmer weather, obviously, as we get into next week. And then it looks like maybe some chances for rain after that. But you can see the southwest is remaining bone dry as well. So it's very hot and dry there. Which is not a good situation at all. I'm not going to bother looking at the Euro this time. I mean, I don't think so. So let's take a closer look at our area here. And I want to actually put this back out again so we can look at dew points here. So it'll kind of show us where the moisture is and everything else. So you can see here that the drier air generally stays over the east. You can see where the humidity is going up in the Midwest there. You can see the humidity stays pretty much in check until we get toward Friday. That's when we see that warm up. Then another front comes through, drops it back down again. But you see that surge of humidity in the Midwest there. And that'll eventually, piece of it at least, will find its way into our area again next week, not this week. And then we'll be dealing with that. So we'll see how long it lasts once it arrives. But right now, it just doesn't look like it's a crazy amount of humidity. So let's look at the dew point. I'm going to just stick with the GFS on this. We'll look at the HRRR with some of the other parameters Well, yeah, I'll go to the HRRR, I guess, because we kind of need some of the mesoscale input that it has. So overnight, you see fairly light winds here. Tomorrow, again, we have dry air in place. Starting off with the west wind, there may be a sea breeze developed there might be a sea breeze develop, limited in scope on the south shore. Perhaps we'll see that. You can see a little wind shifting on there on shore. Um, but then the winds go back to the northwest, and then Tuesday we'll have more of an onshore flow. So that will mean a stronger sea breeze setup. Let's look at temperatures. And as we go into temperatures tonight, will probably drop into the 50s in most areas, up mid to upper 50s, except of course, in my hot hell. And then tomorrow, temperatures will be in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees probably. So similar temperatures to today where the sun was out. We'll have tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, cools off again, back down to the mid 50s, especially for Long Island. Be another nice, pleasant night. And then Tuesday, with the onshore flow, it probably won't warm up that much either. It'll probably be just mid to upper 70s again. So that's what it looks like right now. And we'll go to the GFS to take this a little further out for the dew points and wind flow here. Let's just get an idea of how this is going to change as the week goes on. So you see here the humidity still stays fairly low until Wednesday. Still staying in the dry air under that influence of high. But then as we get toward Thursday, start seeing the wind shift to more of the southwesterly direction. That'll bring the humidity in for Friday, which should probably bring the next cold front through, which would bring our next rain chance, maybe chance for thunderstorms. And then the drier air comes back into the picture for the weekend again. Dew points nice and low. And then once we get into that warmer, more humid air next week, you start seeing those dew points come back up again. Temperatures. All right, so as we get into Wednesday, you'll see the temperature start increasing a little more, probably getting into the low to maybe mid-80s. Thursday, it gets into the mid-80s, maybe some upper 80s in Jersey as you get into more of that southwesterly flow. Friday, we might see a big difference in temperature again, where Jersey could rose to 90 or more, but because of a southwesterly wind, Long Island will mainly be in the low to mid 80s, mainly, and the warmest on the North Shore, coolest on the South Shore. Then the front comes through Saturday, drops back down to the upper 70s, mid to upper 70s on Saturday. Against Sunday, we got the cool air, and then next week we'll start to see things heat up. Tuesday, Wednesday, that's when we might see some 90s enter the picture. Perhaps next week, perhaps at least for a day or so, but it won't be for a long period of time. So let's go back to the HRRR here. We'll just look at some soundings for tomorrow as far as the clouds go, because this is a little bit on the tricky side with the clouds. So let's look at this for a moment. So we'll start at 16Z. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, these lines are kind of close together, so this is what we have to watch for, the development of stratocumulus tomorrow. Once we go to 18Z, I think we'll see those lines get closer. Yeah, they're getting closer. They're still not quite touching yet, but that's fairly close. That's fairly close to each other, so that's indicating that there could be some cloud cover that will develop, especially get to noon or the afternoon hours on the HRRR. So I'll shift over to the GFS, and we'll look at the sky output for tomorrow. So tomorrow it has a mostly sunny day for the HRRR. I meant the GFS. 18Z has a mostly sunny day. Does the 12Z do that? Yes, the 12Z does that too. So the GFS does show a mostly sunny day. Let me look at the sounding. Yeah, but these are close to each other, so it just may not be picking up on that, which is kind of interesting. All right, and then for Tuesday, similar deal again, though. It's showing a few more clouds inland, perhaps. And these are mostly mid-level to maybe some higher clouds too Tuesday. So Tuesday could have more clouds. Wednesday, we're seeing, again, a good amount of sunshine here, maybe a few clouds. Thursday, still seeing a decent amount of sun. Obviously, maybe some high clouds around. Then as you get into Friday, that's when we see increasing clouds and shower chances for that cold front. Then behind the cold front, another nice day for Saturday. So we really got a lot of nice weather after all the suffering we went through last month. It seems like things have finally dried out and we're seeing more sunshine again. But this is where it gets tricky with the sky cover forecast. So let me go to the FV3 here. And all right, we have the 12Z FV3, which I'm kind of is the higher resolution GFS. So you see what winds up happening. It does develop a lot of stratocumulus clouds, perhaps some cumulus in the afternoon that the other run does not show. The NAM, I don't have enough of the 0Z NAM. I can look at the 18Z NAM. Let's see if the NAM does the same thing. Yeah, it does toward the afternoon. So we'll see that. Morning should be mostly sunny, but toward the afternoon, we may have more in the way of clouds. I think we'll go to the RGM next. This is our other model here that we have. And, yeah, you see the same deal. And the RGM even moves them in quicker. So here we are at 16Z. I already have an area of... This is just in relation to the upper level low. A little instability in the atmosphere here causing us... when the sun heat, you get that... when the sun heats the ground, it creates the instability clouds. That you'll see. Shouldn't be any shower activity with this, but we will have clouds as we get, I think, toward the afternoon. I think we'll see that again. Now for Tuesday, we'll probably see more in the way of upper level clouds, probably on Tuesday, and Wednesday we might see a few more upper level clouds too, but it won't be terrible, at least according to the RGM. So, but as far as the best looking sky, probably be tomorrow before the pop up clouds develop. Let's now go back to the HRRR and we'll look at the precipitation here and see if it actually does anything with those clouds. I don't think any precipitation is going to pop up here, but let's see. No, it's not showing anything. Now Tuesday, it's interesting. Overnight, it's developing got a little wavier with some showers that goes over Jersey. But other than that, Tuesday should be dry too. NAM, go to the NAM as well. Again, we got to go to the 18Z NAM for this. Yeah, nothing really develops out of this. This is fair weather cloudiness. So if you see any clouds tomorrow, it's just fair weather clouds. Nothing. Those clouds won't be bringing any rain at all. All right, let's lastly go to the Climate Prediction Center, and the 6 to 10 day does put us above normal. So they are showing that heat up next week, and the below normal in the west. So they are bringing that heat up into our area. Precipitation below normal, above normal in the south, and above normal in the upper Midwest. And southwest stays dry. And then we go to the 8 to 14 day, and it still keeps us above normal. So they seem to think that in the long range, that ridge, when it comes in, it's going to stick around and keep us above normal. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, from what I've seen in the models, I haven't seen it. I've seen heat for a couple of days, but I haven't seen it for a long period of time. But whatever model they're using or they're working with is showing them that it's going to stick around. So see, sometimes when that ridge arrives, it's harder to get rid of it once it's there, and the models kind of break it down too quickly. So we'll see. But for those who want the hot weather, definitely have better chances of it as we get toward the later part of this month. But right now, I'm going to enjoy the weather we've got because it's very nice out, and I'd rather take this over the heat any day. I know it's coming, and I want to enjoy it while we've got it. So thank you for watching.